Hello guys, Sick Libra here with yet another video response. My channel's just filling up with these things. I'm the most generous community. I can't wait until I get to 100 subs so I can do a giveaway so a whole bunch of people can do more video responses. The good thing is that I never stop at the video response in and of itself, so I still get to say what I meant to say. I am still smoking my meerschaum, March Meerschaum Madness. I've got it wrapped up in a paper towel because if you can see that, I don't think it'll focus here. Kinda did. It's got a little bit of wax caked up in there. About 10, maybe 15 smokes ago, I waxed it very heavily, and I just kind of been letting the excess ride on the pipe. I do this about once a year. Throw a whole bunch of wax on there and let it ride for a few smokes. Let it get good and drawn into the meerschaum, and then I'll use my my trusty sailing needle to gently scrape the excess out of the grooves and cracks once it's had a few smokes. And it goes back to business as usual for the next year. So, MercifulAndvary is doing a pretty awesome giveaway with a 2018 International Pipe Smoking Day Edition pipe. Really freaking sweet, dude. Like, straight up. And in this, he wanted to know what unusual things I do whenever I smoke. I'm smoking a pipe wrapped in a paper towel. Yeah. That's not even the unusual thing that I do. So, if you've been watching my other videos, I'm sure you've seen me do it. The pipe will be burning nice, and it'll be burning well, but I will light it anyway. Over and over and over and over again. And I'm sure if you're anything like me, you've seen me do this and gone, what the hell is he doing? Well, let me tell you what I'm doing. I do not have an overall strong sense of OCD on the vast majority of things in my life. However, when it comes to certain things, little details drive me nuts. If my ash is not perfectly flat in my pipe, or it's burning unevenly at all, I am constantly pushing the unburnt tobacco around and relighting it, and then pushing it back over to try and get an even burn on my bowl. I have my Randy Wiley, you can check back on one of my other videos when I did my pipe collection display. My Randy Wiley, it never burns even, and it drives me insane. And when I say it doesn't burn even, I mean like it burns right through the center of the tobacco and leaves this little ring of unburnt crap around the side, and it drives me nuts. So, that's my unusual habit. And, like I said, I never stop it there. So what I've done today is I came out for a short, like, little quarter bowl smoke in my Missouri meerschaum, and I noticed that it was in desperate need of a reaming. So I did that, and I have lots and lots of black goodiness stacked on top of ash out of it. And I noticed something very odd about the way this corncob reacted when I reamed it. I noticed that the cake came off and left behind it the same texture as the corncob underneath it. I didn't get all the way down to the cob. I didn't. I know I didn't. But the cake kept the texture of the corn cob on the inside of it. I was blown away by that. That was really strange. I don't know if that's normal for cobs. If it is, or even if it isn't, drop me your thoughts down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear about it. And I think that's pretty much going to wrap up the random miscellaneous things I had set up to talk about. But yeah, so let me get into, because I don't want to do a 5-minute video. It seems kind of dorky to just come on, do a video response, and call it good. So, we get a whole bonus topic for this one. So, yes, I am smoking my pipe in a paper towel. Let me talk about how I've gotten such beautiful color on this unbelievably thick-walled pipe. I mean, look at that thing. It's out of control. Also needs to be ashed a little bit. So, the way I wax this pipe is once a year I'll do it. And there are places on this pipe that I will be adding more wax once I'm done with this smoke. Probably the next smoke I'll be adding more wax, because some of the spots that get a little bit warmer have already sucked all of the wax to the inside of the pipe and has left the outside a little chalky again. Now, all the darkness that's on the outside of this bowl, as even as it may look and as nice as it may look, it's going to go away. And as the videos progress and my pictures go up on Instagram, you'll see it go away. And I was watching a video on this a long time ago, back whenever I first got a meerschaum pipe, where they were talking about how the beeswax reacts within the pipe and how it's always a fluid changing effect. Alright? So what I've gathered happens is when you wax the outside of the pipe, and I cannot stress this enough, unless you like that yellowed look, you use white beeswax. It's very difficult to find. I had a very hard time finding it, and I could only find it in a 1-pound brick. I think it cost me like 15 bucks. This pipe will take a lifetime to eat up a 1-pound brick of beeswax. So we'll just say that outright. So once you buy yourself a brick of beeswax, I don't care how many meerschaum pipes you have, you'll probably never have to buy another one as long as you keep it clean and keep track of it. But what I've gathered happens is you wax the outside of the pipe. Oh God, here we go again. This could get entertaining. I might light my paper towel on fire. Sorry folks, maybe next time. You apply your wax to the outside, and it melts. And it is drawn to the inside of the pipe where the heat is. Because after my initial waxing smoke with this, up here had wax all caked onto it. All caked onto it. It was a clumpy, nasty mess, but it is no longer there. It is completely absorbed into the pipe. So the wax gets drawn into the pipe where it reaches the edge of the bowl, but it cannot stay there because the heat will slowly push the wax back out. And it'll evaporate very gradually out of both sides of the pipe, out of the outside and out of the inside. And what you're seeing when you're seeing the color is strictly stained wax hanging out in the pores of the stone. So that's why meerschaum takes so long to color, is because you've got like these microscopic little channels of beeswax. You're just waiting to get dirty, pretty much. And that's pretty much my take on coloring meerschaums. Now, I've heard all kinds of tales about how to properly color a meerschaum. I'll tell you a secret right here. There is no proper way to color a meerschaum. There isn't one. Not one. Some people want to use coloring bowls. You're going to be at that a very, very long time, because without heat, the wax don't melt. So you're waiting on the slight amount of liquid and humidity and tars and whatnot to soak into unmelted beeswax and get to the outside. You're going to be at that a very long time. Not saying it doesn't work, it just takes a really long time to do. So my personal opinion is coloring bowls don't work. Now, there was a feller, he had a really interesting take on it. He thought that you had to fill the bowl about 2/3 of the way up with pure perique, and then pack your tobacco that you plan on smoking on top of that. And so you smoke the tobacco down, and as soon as you taste perique, put it out, scrape your ash and whatever little dottle off of the top, and that's the way you properly color a meerschaum pipe. I've never been a fan of that either. To me, it really detracts the point and smoking experience of a meerschaum pipe. There are people that don't handle their pipes, or that will wear gloves, or will only touch the stem. I started off that way. It got old. I just gave up with that. Feel free to handle your pipes. It still looks great. And as long as your hands are clean, even if they're not clean, I've handled this thing with dirty hands before, smoked it with dirty hands before, and yeah, it stains it a little bit for a little while, but it eventually comes off. Well, it did for me anyways. Maybe I just got really lucky. I've just always smoked it and kept the inside of the bowl really clean. I've seen people with outstandingly colored meerschaum pipes that had your normal standard layer of pipe cake on the inside. I don't do that. I'm too anal retentive for that. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I was at risk of tearing this pipe up because I went to town with a whole lot of sandpaper on the inside of it and got it back down to straight meerschaum not too long ago. I reckon I'm only going to do that maybe once every 5 to 10 years. The rest of the time I'll just be really careful and keep her reamed. But that's my take on meerschaums. Keep them clean, keep them dry, and enjoy them. That's the important part. If you ain't enjoying it, there ain't no point in even having it. Don't ever get too obsessed with the color of your meerschaum. Trust me, it'll come. I wound up starting this being all about the color. All about color in the meerschaum. I mean, this thing was stark white whenever I got it. It first started getting those little pink hues, and you could not have seen a more ecstatic pipe smoker. And as the shank started turning dark and started turning browner, I began to care less and less about it. And it colors all the same. So, enjoy the pure flavor that a meerschaum gives. Don't get too caught up with the color. And until next time, y'all enjoy yourselves.